recognize myself for an opening statement. This morning, our committee has gathered to review our ability to prepare, respond, and rebuild in the wake of the natural disasters of 2017. Before we begin, I'd like to extend my heartfelt condolences to the victims of the recent bombings in my hometown of Austin. These heinous attacks need to stop. No one should ever be afraid to open up their front door and pick up a package. We will also find who's responsible for these murders and make sure they are brought to justice. While the American people are constant targets of foreign and domestic terrorists, cyber criminal gangs like MS-13 and human trafficking, today's hearing will focus on the dangers of natural disasters. In 2017, there were 65 major disasters declared. They included hurricanes that hit my home state of Texas, Florida, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico. We also saw dozens of wildfires burn through thousands of acres and destroy everything in their path. After Hurricane Harvey hit Texas, I personally toured the devastated communities in my district, as well as the city of Houston. Days of punishing rain, rising rivers, and overflowing bayous wreaked havoc on much of my state. This destruction was horrifying. Roads were flooded. Many homes were obliterated. And sadly, many people lost their lives. But as I witnessed the strength of the Texas spirit, that was the positive. And many volunteers hopped into their boats to rescue people who were stranded on the rooftops or trapped in a vehicle. Others waded out into the murky waters filled with snakes and fire ants to save their loved ones or even to help a stranger. Texans helping Texans rose to the challenge and assisted one another during a very tough time. Strong coordination at the local, state, and federal level with FEMA and Army Corps of Engineers played a key role as well, and I commend the efforts of the response efforts in Hurricane Harvey. This kind of teamwork was also evident in Florida after Hurricane Irma. Unfortunately, Hurricane Maria completely shattered Puerto Rico, and even today, much of the island is still struggling to recover. It's important that we learn from the lessons of each of these storms so we're better prepared for the future. Natural disasters bring a lot of harm, but they also provide an opportunity to put our differences aside and work together. I'm proud to say that both parties came together to pass a supplemental relief package that provided billions of dollars to the Disaster Relief Fund and the National Flood Insurance Program. It's always our goal to make sure FEMA has the resources and capabilities it needs before it's called into action. The first ever comprehensive reauthorization of DHS that passed the House in July will strengthen our first responders and frontline defenders. I'm encouraged that the Senate has finally taken action on this reauthorization bill, and I hope to have that passed soon and sent to the President. I'd also like to personally thank each of today's witnesses for being with us here this morning. Shortly after Hurricane Harvey, I met with Administrator Long at FEMA's headquarters to receive a briefing during the initial recovery. While there, I could see firsthand the dedication and professionalism of the men and women who sprung into action during that time of crisis. I'm grateful for their service and for their efforts and all of our partners at the federal, state, and local level. And with that, I yield back. The